To the SBR NHL play of the day. It is the SBR double play for Thursday, November 21st. I'm Ian Cameron, joined by Adam Booth. We're ready to break down this
Yes.
Thursday NHL card and ready to hopefully add a unit of profit for each of us to the ledger. As you can see, combined over 7 units of profit with these plays this season, Adam and I. So good stuff with that. And obviously, we've got another big Thursday card as we normally do. 13 games to choose from. That's the great thing. Every day it seems we come on these videos, Adam. We got a big assortment of games to choose from. We can be selective. We can be very picky if we want to be, and try to isolate that very best of the best play.
Or we can be like me and pick 90% of the games to go to.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, I know. Adam's high volume. You think I'm high volume better? I got nothing on Adam when it comes to NHL. He's almost got something on every game, but it's working for him. His results have been very, very good so far this season. So, Adam, we'll start with you because you're going to be talking about the game that I'm sure is going to get a lot of focus today because of one of the teams involved, that being the Toronto Maple Leafs, of course, as they take on the Desert Dogs, the Arizona Coyotes, courtesy of SBRodds.com. Make sure that you are using SBRodds.com daily to get the best line and price with each of your wagers. We've got Arizona about -110. Pretty much even money both sides here in this Leafs Coyotes game. -110 on both sides. The total 6 shaded to the over in this one. Of course, the big headline and across the hockey world is the firing of Mike Babcock yesterday for the Toronto Maple Leafs. Sheldon Keefe slides in as the not the interim coach. He is the permanent coach. This is Kyle Dubas' guy, the GM of the Leafs. Kyle Dubas hired him as a Sault Ste. Marie Greyhounds OHL coach years ago. He's been lockstep with Sheldon Keefe. He brought him in to be the Marlies head coach when he was with the Leaf organization. This is his guy. So now Kyle Dubas, as the GM, has his coach in place. We'll see if it changes with the Leafs' fortunes because right now you can poke at a lot of phases with this team that aren't working right now. The PK, the penalty kill, even the goal scoring. We talk about this offensive potent team. They haven't been scoring the goals at the clip they should be in recent games. There's a lot of holes with this team. I think this is a change for the good for this Toronto team because I think the message was falling on deaf ears. I think they had tuned Babcock out. I'm pretty convinced of that. People close to the situation seem to agree with me that they had tuned him out. So a new voice might be just what the doctor ordered here for the Toronto Maple Leafs. But Adam's throwing up the not so fast, my friend, finger in terms of an immediate Leaf turnaround just because they fired the head coach. Adam, tell us what you like about Arizona tonight.
Yeah, I think you had a perfect summary of the situation coming in. I don't know very much, if anything, about Keefe. But it's not really relevant because, as you just pointed out, this isn't a Toronto team that is struggling in one area of their play. And yes, you can say there's been some friction with some of their stars. It's been reported over the last couple of years. Matthews and I'll just say maybe a few of the star players on the team are listening a little bit more to their agents about what they should be getting as opposed to perhaps a coach. Now, that's one sort of way you can look at it. But I do believe Babcock did not present a good fit with the talent and the style of his players, especially on the offensive end. On the defensive end, the Leafs boosted their defensive end this year. They had a good backup goalie who should have been above average backup goalie. And Anderson is always, in my opinion, a top 10 goaltender. So there's been no excuses for how bad the defensive numbers have been this season. Now you could say, well, perhaps the forwards aren't doing what they've been told in practice, and maybe they didn't like Babcock and they didn't want to play for him, and that does happen. And again, maybe that's a good reason for Babcock to get the axe. But how quickly can an assistant coach turned replacement coach turn this team around? And my whole issue with today's game is, yes, the players on the team have been in the spotlight for, this whole losing streak. And of course, it's the biggest storyline in hockey today and yesterday is this firing. So of course, Toronto is very aware that going forward, they need to prove that Babcock was the issue. I'm aware of that. However, we have a team. They're playing against a quality Arizona team. Arizona has a 93 save percentage on their goalies compared with 89%. Now that's about as drastic as you're ever going to get. And this is a Toronto team that was expected to be in the top 5 contenders for a cup again this year. So you can't really say that other than Babcock, they've been all right, on the back end. And Keefe is going to now, in their day off, they sort of restructured everything. The players are going to back check with 100% effort, shut down Arizona. You can't implement defensive structure that quickly. Maybe they put up 6 goals and their defense is irrelevant. We've seen the Leafs do that in the past, but I just don't know how you can call a Leafs price at, I took the Coyotes at -112, with this afternoon, and it's moved the other way against me here. You can get Arizona at -103, -105. Basically, if you go to SBR odds right now, you'll see every book has it at a better price than what I took it. However, I've got the number that I need. I have Arizona priced at a beautiful 1.7, like a -135, -140 here. So if I'm getting them -112 or -103 or even -125, that's still value in my eyes. I just don't. I believe that the Leafs will get better than what they've been. I do think they'll play better under pretty much any replacement coach if Babcock was the issue, as he probably was. But I don't think you can turn it around that quickly, and I don't think that Arizona is a great team for the Leafs to turn it around against. And that's just me reading into it a little bit more to support the numbers that I'm seeing. So yes, I do believe the Leafs will play better tonight but again, I don't think they've been, lackadaisical or lack of effort all through the season, but they've had some huge holes on the back end, and, they've replaced their backup goalie already to this point in the season. The Leafs have issues, and I think I mentioned in the article that you can check out on sportsbookreviewpicks.com/picks. If you go over there, I mentioned that I think over the coming week they play the Wings, they play the Sabres twice, and they play the Avalanche. And those are better spots for me. They have some days off, I think, between the Avalanche and Detroit, or Detroit and Buffalo. They have a little gap in the schedule. They'll get some practices in with the new coach. And after that, those few days, that's when I might look to take the Leafs. But this narrative of coach gets fired, team is all of a sudden going to flip their entire ability and performance is not something that I love. And it's something that, okay, if the Leafs win tonight, fair play, but I'm getting a much better team playing better throughout the season, both home and away, and against a Leafs team that is at rock bottom and maybe might be there for, 3-4 more days before they start to tune it up. So Ian, you're out east, you're in Ontario. What do you think? You follow the team probably a lot closer than I do.
Well, I'll tell you what, I will have a bet on Toronto tonight, and it's not even close to play today. I didn't even consider it. But I'm telling you right now, this is, I think, a breath of fresh air. This is something needed. The point about, is it going to just click right away, even with the new coach, is very true. This is a tough spot. You're on the road. You don't have any practice time. You don't have a chance to really do drills for the new coach. And it's going to take probably a little bit of time for Sheldon to get this team to where he wants them to be. By the way, this is going to be a different looking team in terms of the way they attack. With Mike Babcock, he was talking about puck possession and just own the offensive zone and all that. No, this is going to be a 5-man wave attack with Sheldon Keefe, because that's the way he coached down there with the Marlies. All 5 guys, and get to the middle of the ice. Gosh, get to those tough areas. Get to the front of the net. Leaf players haven't been doing that enough lately. They really haven't. They've not been going to the front of the net lately enough to get those rebound goals, to get the traffic in front of the goal. Right. That is something that they're going to be doing, I think, a lot more with Sheldon Keefe, because that's the way Sheldon Keefe wants.
I don't disagree with that, but we're talking about, they played on Tuesday. They get smoked. Yeah. Well, it was close in the end, but they lose on Tuesday. The firing was announced 16 hours ago or something like that.
It's a whirlwind for sure. Yeah.
So my question is, you're talking about structural things that Keefe is going to change. I'm saying, how does that happen I mean, I played hockey for a long time. I can tell you that when you need to drill, even, I mean, not professionally, of course, but when you need to drill things, these things can take several practices to get everything jiving. And you've got an Arizona team who is already performing. So my question to you is, why do you think that those reasons that you're laying out would be implemented after 16 hours?
It's really, and I don't want to say the first game with the coach after the coach getting fired and the first game with the new head coach always wins and is always a winner, but the percentage is long-term it is. With Toronto Maple Leafs tonight, I think you're going to see incredible energy. And I know they're probably still going to make their share of mistakes, but I think harder effort, tougher on pucks. That's the first thing he's going to say. He's going to say, go out there and compete. I think you're going to see that from Toronto. It doesn't mean it's going to result in a win. And again, I love this Arizona team. I mean, they're playing great right now. It's a very difficult pill to swallow that I'm actually going to try to step in front of them here. I'm on Toronto. Like I said, it's not play of the day. It's not my favorite, strongest play. It's not even close because we're still talking about a Toronto team that's in a crisis of confidence prior to this firing. They got to show that they can get themselves out of it. But I look at this team and Sheldon Keefe coming aboard, a very likable coach, a players coach. The Marley players were interviewed yesterday after their game against Laval in the AHL. It was after, obviously, the announcement. Keefe had already left, and on his flight to Arizona, they were singing his praises. What a great coach to play for. He was very great communicator. That's the thing.
Okay. I'm going to stop you there, though, because when Babcock came to Toronto, people were singing his praises as well. So yeah. I don't, Ian, I'm sorry, but the reasons you're laying out for the play don't jive with really a one game immediately after. So I don't doubt that he's a good coach and that he will make a good impact on the Leafs long term. I'm saying you're pricing them at a pick'em line, and as you said, you're not happy to say you're stepping in front of a Coyotes team. So I sort of feel like you're contradicting yourself, because you know the Coyotes are playing the better hockey, but you're saying that Toronto is just going to put 100% effort, and that could translate into a win slightly more than 50% of the time. Is that right?
This is just an angle play for me.
Okay.
First game with the coach, I bet it. I don't even, no question.
So we saw Quenneville fired last year. I think the Hawks lost 5 of their first 6 with the new coach.
Yeah, that one did not work out, but Berube
Senators as well under Bouchard. What's the other guy? That as well. That was another example. I think 3 of the last 4 coaches that were fired, the team still lost the first 3 of 4 or something like that. I was looking at that this morning because I was looking at that too. I'm just yeah.
No, that part's true. I mean, short term, there have been some flops in the first game with the new head coach. Long term, though, you look at the last 5-10 years, it's been more good than bad. Okay. Again, this is not. Let me stress this. This is not my play of the day, Toronto. It's just I am on it.
Oh no, I know.
Side.
And I want to hear from you about that. That's why I asked you.
Yeah. This is a game that's fascinating for sure.
It is. It really is. Yeah.
They're going to play with their hair on fire, but hair on their fire doesn't mean they're going to win the hockey game, especially against an Arizona team that is playing with the defensive responsibility and structure that clearly the Leafs have not had for these last few weeks.
And you're a big trend better too, aren't you? I mean, Arizona Coyotes are 8-2 against the Leafs the last 10. So. I don't know. I like the price for the Coyotes here. I think.
No, if you look at current form and who's the better team right now, it's Arizona. There's no question about that.
Yeah.
But this is I think buy low time, and if the Leafs don't win tonight, I'll probably come back with them even against Colorado, because even Colorado's still banged up.
Again, you say buy low. You're buying low on the Coyotes today. You're not buying low on a team that's lost 6 straight.
That's I like the price with Arizona is very good.
Yeah. Okay. Cool.
But again, that's why that's not a play of the day for me, Toronto. It's a smaller bet. It's not something I'm overly. Wow, we're going to run and we're going to really go gung ho with this bet.
Yeah.
We'll play. It's an angle that's worked long term. We're talking about the last 5, 10, 15 years. Okay. There's a spike and an uptick in a team's attention to detail, just attentiveness, and obviously. You got to prove something to a guy. And
I think that's true. I think the prove something angle is true.
And it will help the Leafs a little bit that a lot of these guys played under Sheldon Keefe with the Marlies, so they're going to be very familiar with him, and they can actually translate to the guys that maybe didn't play for Sheldon Keefe with the Marlies how what he's like. the system he's trying to employ, all
Right.
that kind of stuff. Anyway, we're way behind time, so let's get to my play
get into
today.
yours, mate.
Anaheim, Florida, over 6.5, as you can say, at plus 102. That was a fun game to talk about, though. It's one of the games I'm most excited to watch tonight. This one's pretty simple. Anaheim's defense has really fallen apart in recent games. They've missed Hampus Lindholm and Josh Manson on the blue line, and it's taken its toll. You look at their last several games, they gave up 4 goals to a plodding Minnesota offense, 6 goals allowed against Edmonton, 4 goals allowed to Detroit. How does Detroit score 4 goals against you at home? San Jose, 5 goals. Washington the other night, 5 goals. This is a team that's given up 3, 4, 5 goals routinely every game, and against a team in Florida that's scoring 3, 4, 5 goals in every recent game. You look at the Florida Panthers power play. It's been phenomenal. They've scored a power play goal in 9 of their last 10 games, 2 in one of those games. The Anaheim penalty kill has hit the skids. They've given up a power play goal in 4 of their last 5 games. So the penalty kill against the struggling Anaheim penalty kill against a really good surging Florida power play is definitely a matchup you got to pay attention to here in this game. John Gibson hasn't been as sharp as we're accustomed to from him, but I think a product is they're not playing as well in front of him. I still think he's a good goalie, but this is a tough ask for Anaheim to be struggling defensively the way they are. And now have to play this Florida team that's just scoring goals left and right, and on the road too. This is, you don't have a lot of time not to get practices in. You can't fix your problems when you're on the road. So I think those can continue tonight for Anaheim. I do think the Ducks can score, though, a couple of goals at least, because I'm still not sold on Florida defensively. They have been better the last 2 games. They gave up 3 to the Rangers, 2 to Philadelphia, probably 2 of the best games all season from Sergei Bobrovsky, who's, taken time to get comfortable and get on a roll and get in rhythm for this Panthers team. So I think Anaheim can chip in offensively as well. I'd probably see something like a 4-3, 5-3 type of game in favor of Florida here tonight. And again, we've got 2 teams trending over the total. And when teams start to go on these total streaks, I don't like to step in front of the streak. I like to ride that streak. We've got Anaheim 5-1 to the over in their last 6 games, and we've got Florida a perfect 5-0 to the over in their last 5 games. So put it all together, give me Anaheim, Florida over 6.5 plus 102. We cashed in with New York Islanders in thrilling comeback fashion Tuesday night with my play of the day, and hopefully we got another one here. Anaheim, Florida over the total.
Yeah, I mean, I had this one at 55% to the under here. I think a lot of that has to do with Anaheim's difficulty to score, but I found the value on the Ducks today. That was another play that I did an article on. They're my heroes versus hosers feature. So the Ducks are my big dog for today. Now, when I say
4-3, 5-3, let's hope 5-3 Anaheim then.
Yeah, that way we can all be happy.
Yeah, exactly.
That would be great. But I think because of time, I won't get into it too much. You can check out my article at the SBR Sports Picks URL. And thanks for joining us. Hey, Ian.
And you should be reading Adam's articles every single day at sportsbookreview.com because putting in the time to put them together. They got great information, great stats, great trends to back up his wagers and opinions. So make sure you're checking those out every day at sportsbookreview.com. All right, so to recap, Anaheim, Florida over 6.5 plus 102 is my play of the day. And Adam is on Arizona minus 112 against Toronto. That'll wrap up our SBR NHL play of the day double play video for Thursday, November 21st. For Adam Booth, I'm Ian Cameron. Good luck with your wagers this Thursday night. We'll see you again Saturday for our next edition of the SBR NHL Double Play.